Of all the talk about restrictions at the moment, especially since we've heard about Greece that have closed down most of their park ups and are stopping Vanlife and motorhomes and what have you. So what's the solutions? So one of the things I was thinking about the other day is how lately everybody's accumulating into one area. Usual park ups we've been to, it's got more and more crowded. So I think is sticking to your park ups that hardly nobody else parks at. For example, I'll show you the one we're at the moment. I won't say where it is, but I'll show you. So basically, we're here in Wales. There's just one other camper. If we'd have pulled up here and there were several and we're all packed in, and there's chairs everywhere and what have you, and awnings and things like that, we would have definitely moved on. But there you can see. And then, you know, any authorities think, well, this isn't a problem. I see it is, can you imagine? I mean, yeah, they're wrong in a way, they should just live and let live, but you know, if they suddenly see loads and loads of vans, motorhomes, what have you, descending, all grouping into one area, to people that don't understand us, I mean, we like our freedom, we understand van life, we're no threat or anything else, but if we look from another person's point of view, and suddenly, I mean, you imagine in your own street if you saw, you know, copious amounts of vans pulling up, hordes of people, you may think differently, I don't know. So yeah, one of the solutions I think is to, you know, choose your park ups that are quiet. You still get the nice scenery. Actually, it's better because you're not sitting on top of each other, because if you're going to do that, you might as well go to a campsite. The last two places we went to, which we really enjoyed, we thought to ourselves, this is looking more and more like a campsite every day. We were just queued up like sardines, and it just didn't feel, I don't know, it didn't feel like we had any freedom. You know, that's not what you call freedom. So I think one of the solutions is, don't go around in packs. It's all right if you want to meet a mate or, you know, two other vans or something, that's fair enough, because we do the same. But, you know, be mindful of how much we're packing into one area, because I think that is becoming a problem. I don't know what you guys feel about that, but, you know, might have different views. But I think that would be one of the solutions.
Yeah, so the thing is like, people cannot say a certain area belongs to them.
No,
just because they use it a lot. Yeah, it's disappointing. Yeah, it is disappointing. Yeah, you know, when you pull up and you think, oh, I think you're going to be able to get a space here. It's a lovely little stop. But it's because, as I say, it's where you've had people that stay for too long. They start making it their own garden as such.
But but like I say, these restrictions are coming in outsider's point of view. It don't look good, does it? It puts us all in a bad light. I mean, look at this view again. What's wrong with that? There's one other camper van, empty car park, loads of space, beautiful views. I mean, what more do you need? Don't understand why people have to accumulate into one space. It's just crazy to me, because we're trying to, we're into van life for freedom, get out of the rat race. Why are we putting ourselves back into massive groups? I mean, it's all right on group meetups and stuff like that, that's fine, but you know, the whole point is to get away from neighbours and other people. You know, you put even wild animals in you know, in the world, you put too many packs of animals together, you're not all going to be the same. It's going to cause issues, and the last thing we want is a war, an inside war between van lifers. I mean, that's crazy. And I think, yeah, I feel like protesting sometimes, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about people protesting and stuff like that. Why don't we get together and make a protest about it? Problem is with that, we do that, we're going to come across to outsiders again as intimidating, aggressive, and they're going to think, well, we don't want those people around. They're standing there, they're making protests, they're accumulating on these one pieces of land at a time. You know, you can understand, you know, we got to come across as peaceful, non-threatening, you know, take our rubbish with us. We don't want to give ourselves a bad name. I mean, yeah, there's people out there that are wrongly thinking those things about us already, but we don't want to prove them right. So we got to be peaceful. We can't stand up protesting and, you know, getting angry, because the minute we do that, they are going to see us as a problem. So that's, you know, my uptake on it as well. Are you enjoying that popcorn, Paul? You enjoying your popcorn?
Oh, no. But it is, what's that? I think, yeah, I think England has got to adopt the same as what abroad have done, you know, with the airs.
Yeah.
So, you know, that would save a lot, because then you got certain areas like that. You get an air,
Yeah.
and you know there's going to be a lot of motorhomes or camper vans or whatever.
Oh,
so they've miserable cow. So they've actually made allowances for the amount of people that are going to congregate together.
Yeah.
That's okay, but it's again.
But we don't want to prove them right, because I think people, I can understand, we're all getting heated. We feel it as well. We're feeling quite heated about the situation. But, you know, there has been talk of, oh, why don't we do a protest? Can you imagine? That is going to cause more of a problem. They definitely want us out then. You know, we don't want that. We don't have a problem finding quiet park-ups, do we?
No.
I mean, there's always one, and they're ones that aren't so much known. And that's, if we start doing that, it's not going to be a problem. You know, they're not going to start closing everywhere down, because we enjoyed Arundel, and there was a few Vanlifers up there, and we quite enjoyed it. We enjoyed Henge, you know, the Drove, and we like going up there with other Vanlifers. But it's all, we notice a change in the last year. It's becoming a bit too much. Everybody's piling into the same space. Rubbish is becoming a problem.
Yeah, there's rubbish, isn't it?
Oh, along the Drive, we're not talking just people leaving rubbish because there's nowhere to put it. There was black bags overflowing, full of rubbish, broken chairs, pallets, just left there, and you're thinking, this is why. Because I said to you before that was closed down, I looked at all that and I said, Paul, they're going to close this down.
Yeah.
You know,
we could see it was coming, couldn't you?
I'm not saying we're all the problem. I know the council like making us the problem, but if we please stop adding to the problem, then they've got no rope. You know, they can't then blame us, because they're going to blame us anyway.
Yeah.
Why add to the problem though, isn't it? I mean, I know this is a bit of a rant, but this is just my personal thoughts. I mean, you know, everybody's respectfully, you know, can have their own faults, but I think it would help the situation a bit if we looked less threatening, all going into one area, you know, and just tidy up after ourselves, isn't it?
Well, it is, what's that, you know, because the trouble is, again, as I say, it's a case where you've left one rat race, so you're all lined up like sardines when you live at your homes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So then you get you on your motor, and then you try to find another place to line up like sardines again. And you think, well, why did you actually drive all that way just to be sandwiched? And again, you know, you could end up with neighbours that you don't like.
I think what's happening is people are saying, oh, look, there's loads of vans there. We must be allowed to park there. So everybody's thinking, right, we can park here tonight because everybody else is down here. That means there's no restrictions. I'm sure that's what's happened. We've done it ourselves. We've been driving around before, and you know, we've seen vans and thought, oh, Paul, we can pull over here. Sometimes it's nice to have neighbours, the odd neighbour, but no, we want the freedom as well. We want the wide open spaces. You want the views.
But there again, you get people that say about security and numbers. Numbers, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
If there's sort of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of you, but when there's like 20 vans,
that's ridiculous. There's no need for it.
And then the trouble is, then you're becoming a menace. Yeah, people are not going to see you as, oh, they're going to be spending loads of money in our local shops. They're just going, well, there's 20 vans there, they're just going to leave crap everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all bad. I mean, like I said, we've parked up in places where there's loads of vans. But I'm just trying to think of solutions, you know, and I think, you know, we've got to be responsible for ourselves as well. Yeah, I know it's annoying restrictions, isn't it, Paul? Because, you know, the government does try and put restrictions. As soon as you start enjoying yourself, that's it. Government puts restriction on. but we can't go in all guns blazing, you know, protesting and getting angry about it, because we want to come across as peaceful. We don't want to come across as a problem.
We don't give them rope to hang you with.
Exactly.
Because that's what you're going to do.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, on a lighter note, we're in a lovely place in Wales, aren't we?
Beautiful.
Really nice. We can't disclose where. We used to disclose where we were. We used to say where we were. There's a lot of videos that we put out a couple of years back of where we were, isn't there?
Yeah.
But we've stopped doing that now, because we've realised that if somebody watches our video, we have noticed it's getting more so. People are getting to know where park-ups are, and then it ruins it. There's loads of park-ups around. I mean, this one in Wales.
Well, you take Penway Fan.
Yeah.
Penway Fan. Used to see the occasional camper. Now it's manic.
Yeah, and they've had to literally restrict it and put a pay car park in.
Yeah.
We don't want that. I mean, this place we're at now, we don't want that to happen here, do we?
No.
And the thing is, find your park-ups. There's plenty around, Paul, isn't there? There really is. You just have to do a little bit of research. I mean, we didn't even find this on Park for Night, because Park for Night is also getting, you know, people are getting to know these places and accumulating in places. But how do we do it? We actually get up maps, don't we? And we pin rural areas on maps, and we just take a look, don't we?
When you look on maps, you have different shades of green, right? So you got the darker green is more rural, so it's right out in the sticks. So I tend to search all the way around them. And then if you go on to satellite imagery, then you can sort of see little gravel bits like there, where you've got little parking areas.
Yeah.
So you can then you zoom in and say, oh right, that'd be a good little park up, and then you pinpoint it, and then you can do like your 360.
Yeah.
And you can look around and see what's around you.
There's plenty of room for everyone if we just try and do a little bit of research. And yeah, I love the old park-ups. I love Arundel, but we're not going to go there for a while. No, we're going to, I mean, I know they've restricted a lot on there now, but so I don't think we can. But like the Drove, for example, we love it there. So we've decided, I mean, when it first reopens, because there is talk it might reopen, you know what's going to happen on that first day? It is going to be rammed. We're not going on the first day it opens. I think there's a date in June they said about, for a little while before they close down for solstice, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to wait for it all to calm down.
Yeah.
We're going to try it in the autumn, out of season, see if it's calmed down a bit. Hopefully it has, because it's a beautiful place. I like the way, you know, we can park there. You don't feel overlooked. You still feel like you can open your door and you feel like you're on your own. But we'll give it a go in autumn, I think, Paul. If it's got rammed, it's got ridiculous, and the rubbish is still there, I'm pulling out. Unfortunately, that pains me to say that.
The trouble is, you got Bristol as well, has been hit, isn't it?
Yeah, so...
And I think that was from Stonehenge.
Yeah, there's still plenty of places, guys. Don't be put off at all. You know, we need to just be mindful and not give ourselves a bad name, because we're not bad people. None of us, none of you are.
And don't moan there's no bins. I'm sorry, you cannot moan about not having bins, because the problem is, like I was talking to the council guy that from when we was down Arundel, I was talking to him, and he said the only problem, he goes, we go around and empty the bins, he said, but they can fill them quicker than we can empty them.
Yeah.
And he said, then what do they do then? He goes, they stack all their crap all the way around the bin.
Yeah.
They don't put it into the bin, they just stack it all the way around the outside.
It encourages us to take our rubbish with us. There's always somewhere to put rubbish in designated areas. Yeah, it's a pain. Sometimes you've got bags of rubbish in your garage area till you find somewhere, or those of you that have still got a house, you know, you've got to take it home and put it in your rubbish, but so be it. It'll be worth it. You know, we can keep our park-ups, we can still keep our van life freedom. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, I'm sick to death of the government, as much as you all are. It's, you know, every time you find any sort of freedom, the government will, you know, put restrictions on it.
Either put restrictions or they penalise you for it through costs.
But I feel like if we be clever enough, we can Yeah, if we're clever enough about it, don't get rolled up, don't get your backs up, you know, don't accumulate all together. Try and find these nice park ups. They are there. There's loads of them, isn't there, Paul?
Yeah, well, that's it. Don't give them the benefit.
If you want a bit of community spirit, I can understand people accumulating because they want a community spirit. We like that as well when we used to go up the drove and stuff. Of course you do. But you still can. I mean, there's loads of.
Trouble is, but the trouble is, then you get illiterate people out there, like same as Milford-on-Sea, right? Saltgrass Lane. Now that's getting absolutely chocker. Once we drove down there,
that's one of our favourites as well, isn't it?
But once we drove down
out
there,
of season, we try it again.
Yeah, but once we drove down there was so many, and the locals had put across the road in spray can, and it said "Pikeys this way."
Yeah.
So that was how illiterate they are, because as soon as they see a lot of camper vans or whatever or motorhomes, they go, "Oh yeah, it's Pikeys." You know what I mean?
And this is what's happening.
They're illiterate.
Yeah, but this is why we've got to not go around in massive droves, because you know we're all going to be tarred with the same brush. From an outsider's point of view, again, I know people shouldn't judge, but this is how we're going to be viewed. I don't want to be viewed like that, because we're not that. None of you are, again, like I say. So anyway, sorry for the rant. Just had to get that out of my system, actually. But yeah.
Yeah. But on a good note, that is it. Then we'll be able to take you with us on our travels.
Yeah. Let's keep this going, guys. Let's not let van life die, because if it goes the way it's going to people are just going to give up. They're going to sell their vans, and I don't want to see that happening. No. You know, let's all think about this and, you know, stick together on this. Let's keep it going, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the good thing is,
hang on.
We've still got a few things that we're going to do on the van.
Oh yeah.
So that we should be able to show, because our boy's bringing up what he's printed off.
Yeah,
he's printed
those
off
letters,
some,
isn't it?
Some bronze letters. So
yeah.
we're going to have Boxer across the front. So we got that. There's a few things. We put the nudge bar on the front now, which is good. So there's a few things, and also we still got to get the sign writing on the van, haven't we?
We're waiting for him to get back to us on that, because we said in the last video, didn't we, that it'll only be a week, but he's busy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the trouble when you do things as mates. They don't want to do things like snapping fingers.
Yeah, because they got their own work to do. Anyway, we better not keep these lovely people for long. It was just a bit of our thoughts we thought we put out there, but hopefully we won't get too much backlash on it. But
that's it.
We're free to talk.
But it's like I said to this guy the other day, and that was on Vanlife on Facebook, wasn't it? And he was saying about putting riser kits on these, on the Peugeot Boxer, System Relay, Fiat Ducato, whatever. I said, if you want any advice on how to do them or where to get them from, I goes, just give us a shout.
Yeah,
because because the back one riser kit, sweet as a nut, so easy, it's unbelievable. Front is a pain in the arse, but there is a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just take the strut off and put the extender on and put strut back, not without messing about with the lower ball joint.
Yeah.
But if anyone ever does it and they get stuck,
just drop us a comment,
or want to find out how to do it before they do it, if you know what I mean.
Once we figure out how to do a live, I think you have to have another. Right, guys, I'm interested in this. So, if we want to do a live, we have to have another device. Yeah. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I'm a bit thick when it comes to that. So I think you have to have one device where you're watching it yourself, and one you're filming with.
What? Oh, so you film on one, and then you
watch
answer
on the
questions.
I've still got to figure it out.
Because otherwise your screen on your phone wouldn't be big enough, would it?
Yeah, and do you have to let YouTube know you're going to do a live before you do a live, or do you just... I don't know. I haven't got a clue, you know, but we'll have to have a go.
I'm sure someone out there will. We
then we can have a proper conversation. You know, you could I feel like we're talking to ourselves. Anyway, guys, see you soon.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.